We've got two Monday night football games for you here in week 4, one of which the Cincinnati Bengals are flying to Denver to take on Bo Nix and the Broncos. My name's Tyler here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to break down this Monday night football matchup between the Bengals and Broncos and provide our predictions at the very end. So be sure to leave a comment. Let us know who you think is going to win and why. And also hit that subscribe button. Help us get to 8,000 subscribers as quickly as possible. Any help is greatly appreciated. And Ryan, both these teams are coming off tough week 3 losses, and I use tough. There's multiple ways you can look at tough. Tough can be for Broncos. You had a hard fought game against your division rival. Came down to a last second field goal where you had opportunities to win, but unfortunately you find yourself 1-2, especially coming off a week 2 loss that you guys really should have won also, but there's a self inflicted wound at the end. And then there's the other version of tough loss where it's like, man, want to forget that this game ever seen that they ever even happened. Hey, I'm a Falcons fan too as well, so my week 3, I want to forget that game ever happened also. And I feel like the Bengals, they might be feeling that way after they went to Minnesota, played football or attempted to play football and lost 48-10. And it's they're about to go on a rough stretch here because, like I said, they're playing not maybe foreshadowing here on who I'm going to select here, but they're at the Broncos in week 4. Week 5, play the Lions at the Packers, home versus Steelers. It could be interesting. They don't really get a break until they play the Jets, but even to us,
Yeah.
kind of wait and see how this team gets. And so, Ryan, another offensive line injury as well too here for the Cincinnati Bengals. What can the Bengals do here? You think? I mean, it was just a bad game. I think maybe you just chalked up to that. But what do they need to do to bounce back against a Denver Broncos defense that is one of the best in the league?
I mean, they're just gonna have to exploit one-on-one matchups with these wide receivers. I think that is still the saving grace. They still have probably the best wide receiver duo in the league with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. And if Jake Browning can effectively get them the ball, or at least put them in situations where they can make a play, I think that is going to be their best case scenario for this offense. And defensively, hope that Trey Hendrickson and Shamar Stewart can get after the passer and make Bo Nix uncomfortable and maybe force him to make some errant throws and capitalize on some mistakes there. I think that's how they're going to have to win because I think straight up player for player, they're really going to struggle. Just this Denver team is just very well rounded. They typically don't beat themselves. You could point to a few games or specifically a few instances within games so far this year where they have helped teams keep things close. Actually, I guess the Tennessee game and then the Colts game with the leverage call, like they've given other teams opportunities to beat them. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see. But yeah, this is a pretty well-rounded Denver team. They really started to look better and more like they did last year against the Chargers. This week, this just might be the Chargers' year for this Denver team. And if I'm Denver, they've kind of progressively built or improved each game this year. You look, that Tennessee performance was a little rough for Bo Nix in that offense with 4 turnovers. The Colts game they really should have won, and that Colts team looks really solid. But they gave them a second opportunity at the game-winning field goal with that leverage call, which cost them that game. And then Justin Herbert had a fantastic drive that was just a wonderful catch by Keenan Allen. Sometimes there's just not much you can do in those games, and the other teams players get paid to play football as well. So I still think this is a really solid Denver team. They're very well rounded, and yeah, this Bengals team is going to have to try to outscore people, and I think that's going to be their way to win.
Yeah, I think it's yeah. If you're Denver, or if you're Denver and the defense, be like, we first week we held the number 1 quarterback, rookie but in check, and then 2 had a good matchup, a tough matchup against like in a really up and coming offense now with a veteran quarterback, and now then 2 we really took the very potential MVP quarterback, uh, like down to the final second, and
Yeah,
then to your point, I think with the Chargers, and now we got to go play Jake Browning. Like, I'm not concerned if I'm the
yeah.
Broncos defense at all. Like, I'm concerned with Jamar Chase, obviously, and T. Higgins, but then this being on the road on Monday Night Football, it's Jake Browning, like, potentially could just because of the weapons that are out there. But I also think, too, though, it's not Joe Burrow. This offensive line for the Bengals is decimated. Really, outside of Trey Hendrickson as well too. It's like this defense is still struggling. They're still putting up. They're still allowing a lot of points as well. So I think that's going to play well into Sean Payton and how he wants to kind of run this offense, where it is that very efficient. And it's like not too many like world beaters, so to say. Like if we're just looking at pound for pound, like when it comes to these skill position players. That being said, though, the sum of the whole is really good for Denver. I mean, Cortland Sutton leading the way. I really like what they've got going on in this running back room. It's just if you're the Bengals defense, on like then how are you going to score against this Broncos team? Well, I take that back. I know how you're going to score. It's going to be like just through these random explosive plays, because Jamar
Yeah,
Chase and T. Higgins, as you said, is one of the best receiving duos. But with how weak this offense is, and with Jake Browning like as being like their backup quarterback, this offense is severely limited. And I don't think this defense is going to be able to slow down Bo Nix and company as well
no,
too. That Chargers defense, they're a little injured, yes, but still one of the top defenses. And that was a fun game watching Denver. They easily could have won that game against the Chargers and taken control of the division, but uh, fell just short. And I think they're going to have no issue whatsoever come Monday night to play Cincinnati at home. Kind of the wait and see, but unfortunately, I mean Cincinnati. It's going to be interesting here, especially too if they're not able to win championships here with arguably the best quarterback in the league, arguably the best receiver in the league, best receiving duo that I could think of with Chase and T. Higgins. I really like how Chase Brown fits within this offense, and you've got good young receivers like Andre Yoshavas and even Mike Gesicki fits into that team. It fits into what they're trying to do. I just think they just don't have an offensive line to
yeah,
to
or
really help
defense.
them out, or
Yeah,
or an overall defense. Yeah, like they just haven't been able to draft well and develop. So
that was
it's going to be interesting.
the year they
Go
went
ahead.
to the Super Bowl, and I'm also taking the Broncos. But the year they went to the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
that defense wasn't great, but that defensive line was very stout. They were one of the best run defenses in the league, just because you couldn't really run on that front four. Um, and I just think going forward, like or like since that Super Bowl run, that defense has gotten progressively worse and worse. That offensive line has started to diminish. Yeah, and it's just been tough sledding here for the Bengals. But yeah, I'm going with the Broncos. I think this should be a relatively easy matchup for them as well.
Yeah, shouldn't be too difficult.
So we're both taking the Broncos on this Monday Night Football matchup. Let's go ahead. Let's wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead. Will it be the Cincinnati Bengals? Will it be the Denver Broncos? Other than that, we'll see you guys next time.